Hello, my friends. David Dom here. I'm your host for the What is ERC Money podcast. This episode is in regards to the magnitude of the opportunity. And I want to talk about specifically the commissions that you can earn as a referral partner with Bottom Line to help businesses get their ERC money. ERC stands for Employee Retention Credit. The Employee Retention Credit program was available back when everybody was getting their PPP loans. But you had to make a choice. You couldn't do both. So most people just did the PPP loans because the ERC it could be a little bit complicated. There's about 200 pages of stuff to deal with. And, it was harder to do. So people went with the PPP loans. Now, in 2021, there were some revisions and amendments made to the ERC program, which allowed for businesses to qualify for both. So even if a business has had up to 2 PPP loans, they can still get an average of $10,000 per W-2 employee for the ERC program. And it's a grant, which means it doesn't have to be paid back. So that's kind of the gist of it. Most businesses and their advisors, including the CPAs, aren't aware of the fact that, first of all, the business now qualifies for both. So even if they got PPP, they can get an ERC. And there were changes made. So those amendments made more qualifications available. At first, it had to be a revenue issue, meaning there was a drop in revenue, a certain percentage and all that. Now it can be a lot of different things, including supply chain issues or, many different things. And so I'm not a specialist in that area, but bottom line is they've actually recovered $3 billion for businesses. That is with a B. And so they're specialists in it. As a referral partner, you can actually refer a business. Now, here's the qualifications. Here's what you would ask, and kind of a conversation that would happen if you did anything more than just share your link, okay? The business needs to be in business since February of 2020, and they need to have between 5 and 500 W-2 employees. That's pretty much it. Those are the qualifications. Even if the business is bigger, there are options. It gets a little more complicated, but focusing on between 5 and 500, as long as somebody has that many employees and they have not filed for their ERC money yet, and they've been in business since February 2020, you can refer them. Meaning you can leave a business card, a postcard type thing like a flyer. You could send somebody your link, send a business owner your link. When you get started as a referral partner, which is very simple to do, when you get started, you get your own custom link to a website that explains everything for the business, lets them understand at least enough to know that they want to talk about it with somebody. Then they could book a call right from your website with a specialist at Bottom Line. That conversation is all about qualifying the business and then enabling them to engage Bottom Line to recover their funds. That's all done. So, but as far as your job as the referral partner, all you have to do is refer them. That's it. You're done with your work and there is nothing else to do. The average commission is 2.5% of funds collected. There's some other calculations, but approximately 2.5% of funds collected is what you receive as the referral partner for referring that business to Bottom Line. It's basically like an affiliate program, right? You're an affiliate. As an example, I'm affiliate, let's say for Amazon, and I upload videos and I make a small commission when someone buys something, like 3%, whatever. it makes sense, but this is more in line with something like real estate. And I want to give you an example because 2.5% is an average for a real estate commission on one side of the deal. Let's say you list a property for $1 million and you get 2.5%, or you bring a buyer to that deal and you get 2.5%. Okay, it's just an example. So that $1 million that is money collected for the business, the IRS sends out the checks, everything's handled. You don't have to do anything but refer the business, but you get 2.5%. And that just so happens to be on $1 million, $25,000. Now, you could go, let's just take it down a notch. Let's say the business has 20 employees. 20 W-2 employees, you get an average of 10 grand a piece. Your commission on that at 2.5% is $5,000. Okay? So it's pretty easy math. But what I want to kind of explain as far as the magnitude of the opportunity is when I just recently learned about this, and I kind of felt like I was late to the party. And I was, if you want to compare me to somebody that knew about it a year ago, but I found out that even still, approximately 80% of the businesses that qualify haven't applied for their ERC money yet. So there's still a huge, and there's like 6 million businesses, total approximately. Don't quote me on that, but 6 million small businesses that have W-2 employees, not just one-man shows or things like that. But anyway, 2.5%. Okay, so let's think about this for a minute because, you know, uh, real estate agents, I mean, I'm familiar with the business and they do a lot of work. If they list the property, there's a lot that they do for that buyer, good real estate agents. And if it's $1 million property, they need to be good, right? And then if they bring a buyer, they also do a lot of work because they might show that buyer 10 properties before they show them that one. And then, there's all this stuff. So it's quite a bit of work. To receive the same amount of commission as far as percentage goes, all you have to do is refer the businesses. That's it. So I want to give you kind of a back of the napkin number, and not to be hokey or anything, but it's real, it's legitimate. Bottom line is already collected $3 billion for businesses, and the numbers, let's just say you want to make $1 million because there's only 2 years left in this deal. April of 2025 is the last time that the business can file for some of their ERC money. April 2024 is another time, but the bigger part of the money is going to be, what they would file for in April 2025. That's the last time. So there's like 2 years at the time of this recording to take advantage of this. So let's just say that a person did. I mean, you don't have to. We all come in contact with businesses all the time. We could just give them a business card, refer them, friends of the family, whatever. I mean, it's free money. It's technically it's a refund of money's, wages paid. So here's the thing. Let's just say you want to make $1 million in the next 2 years. Because the average, I mean, technically, if a company didn't take PPP loans, they could get more than $10,000 per employee. If they didn't take any at all, they definitely will. That's the difference. So if they took one PPP loan, they get a little bit less, and if they took two, they get a little bit less. But it's still, even with two PPP loans, I'm shooting, really low is that $10,000 per employee number. Okay. So let's just look at that number and then work backwards and say, okay, at 2.5%, how many W-2 employees would have to receive money from the IRS? Basically, they're not getting it, but the businesses are getting it. So, but if there's 4,000 of them total, regardless if there's 7 in one business and 22 in another and 400 in another, it doesn't matter. 4,000 total over the next 1 to 2 years is $1 million at 2.5% of that collected revenue, because that comes out to $40 million. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So if you want to get more information and actually take this seriously, you can do that just by going to erchow.com, erchow.com. And then if you wanted to, you could also go to What is ERC Money, which is the title of the podcast. You could go there too. What is ercmoney.com. What that does is gives you more information, and it's a place where a business could actually click on the link and go directly to the book a call page, or someone could click on a link and learn more about the opportunity. So either way, but erchow.com, if you want to see how you might be able to take advantage of making commissions referring businesses, you could go there. Okay, erchow.com. So the magnitude is something that I'm pretty blown away by, and that's because I've been in the game for 35 years, and as an entrepreneur, I've made money doing a lot of different things, and there's a lot of work involved. Most of the time, even money that would be considered passive income, it still has to be set up. You don't just get passive income unless you invest money, right? But if you actually want to make money, then there's some work involved. So this is the work. Okay, the work is referring the businesses. Now, full transparency. Here's the other part. The magnitude is something I haven't actually ever seen before, because normally for an opportunity, you would have to pay to be involved. Normally. And with something of this magnitude, as far as the dollars involved, that means a lot of other people that are buying a product or service are paying a lot of money for you to make the similar kind of dollars, if that makes sense. So with this, you're not selling anything, you're referring the business. Bottom line takes care of everything, including the 15-minute call. After that, there's a whole process, and you'll have access to all that. You'll even be able to see in the back end what's going on, what stage each business is in. But there's no cost for you to do this. There's no cost. So to have no cost to get started, to have an opportunity to practically anybody without any special skills or even sales skills or anything could actually refer businesses they could literally walk in the door, hand them a business card or postcard and say, have you got your ERC money yet? And just do a real quick basic qualification, and then say, man, we could get you 10K per employee, possibly. Book a call. Here's the link. That's the amount of work. So for the small amount of work that has to be done for the potentially huge commissions, relatively speaking, and the fact that you don't have to pay to get involved, creates the magnitude of the opportunity, if that makes sense. So anyway, just wanted to cover that. It's huge. I've never experienced anything like it before myself personally, and it's just one of those kind of once in a lifetime things. So go to erchow.com and check it out. And we will catch up with you on the next episode. Thanks so much.